Hey, how you going? Thanks for watching again. Just wanted to show you this house because this is something I come across a fair bit as well. Outside we've got retaining walls here, and there's quite a bit of termite damage in these retaining walls. It's always a sign that if you have a lot of timber around, then it does attract termites. So we say to people during inspections that they should get rid of these sort of timber retaining walls, these old sleepers. Sometimes people don't, and what I'm about to show you now is a result of probably attracting these termites to this sort of house. When the house was built, it did have some protection go in because it's not that old. It's a slab home, brick veneer, and when it was built, it had physical protection that goes around the house, and that's okay. Sometimes these sort of things fail, but a lot of the times they don't. When they do fail, the concealed entry by the termites can be quite catastrophic. So just bear in mind that we noticed this in the inspection. We got called in after the problem started, so this is the sort of thing that having a regular inspection we would have picked this up and we would have suggested to change it, or we would have found the termites and suggested a protection for the house. Now we're just going to go into the garage here and just show you what was found or why we were called in. We were called into this area here. Obviously all this gyprock and plasterboard's been taken off, but all the damage is in here, into this wall. This is a really widespread infestation in this house, and after we come here we'll go through the house and show you some other areas. It's quite a large house. So we've got obviously all this termite nesting material. It's not a termite nest, it's just all the material where the termites take their food, they leave it. They have all these what's called galleries throughout here, all this honeycomb area where they travel in and out. It also regulates the temperature inside the area too, so it doesn't get too hot or too cold. It just keeps it at optimum temperature so that they can function. These are obviously the studs here, and we've got noggins here. Nothing left here, just all eaten out. It's almost like tissue paper here. So you can see that they've travelled up here into this stud. Now what is amazing about this house is that the termites didn't get into the roof. Must have just caught it in time, or there was just enough lovely stuff down here for them to keep them busy. This is radiata pine, and the roof's all full of radiata pine as well. So they didn't get up that far. But you can have a look at the extent of the infestation. Now this nesting material that comes out, this has got to be about 5 kilos. It's just solid mud, looks like concrete that they build, and on the external is all of this honeycombed area here. But honestly, that is just so heavy. Take a bit out of here. These are the pipes. Now the entry point for this could have been anywhere. They could have come up where one of these pipes go down, and at construction stage these outlets, or what we call penetrations that go through the slab, should be collared by termite-proof material so they can't get up. So maybe that's how they got in, because it wasn't done properly. Who knows? So as I said, here's the electrical areas that go right down through the slab and then out into the services. So this is just one area here. All the gyprock's been removed to try and find the damage, or the extent of the damage in this area, so that's pretty much where we stopped. Now we're just going to turn around to the other side of the wall here in the garage. And they've also got into this wall here. This is pretty spectacular as well. So it's the same garage, different room, all this termite material. All through here, you can see down here, into this window frame here. You can hear the solid papery sound through there too. So we'll go, so we've got a full wall over there, we've got a wall here. The termites did not come over the ceiling, we know that because there's no evidence there. So they could have got there, then come under the slab, and then come up here. Or they could have come from that side, up here, and then across there, or it could have been 2 attacks from 2 different colonies. It's hard to know exactly what's happened, and most of the time we never will. Exactly why, how they got in. So let's just walk into the home here. And we just come over to this wall. We'll just show you this wall here. It might be a bit dark. I'll just put the torch on here. So this is just the opposite wall of where we just were. So you can see all of this here into these studs. Now it's interesting to know that if you don't know too much about construction, but what happens is the studs go from the floor, there's timber on the floor which is called the bottom plate. The stud goes from there, goes up to what's called the top plate, which then holds the roof, and all the bearers and trusses and everything hang off the top plates. So you lose anything in here, you're going to lose support for the ceiling up there. So it can then sink down. So that's when you get into a real lot of danger. While we're in this way, so we're into another room here, which is just, it's probably, I'd say, 20 metres from the garage there. So we're up into this room where we've got damage in the door frame here. We've got some damage in the window frame as well. So this is all paper, look, you can see all through that there. So this, as I said before, this is quite a widespread infestation. Alright, so we'll then go into another room. So we come in, this room adjoins that other one where we were at, but again it's still a fair way away from where that other damage was there. So here we go, another stud just gone, nesting material. How long these termites have been in this house is anybody's guess. It really is difficult to tell whether it's been the first attack or a second attack or something like that. The history of it is a little unknown. But having said that, it's still a very frightening situation to be in for the homeowner. Okay, let's go into another room. Okay, so here we are again in another room. Now this has got to be sort of 25, 30 metres away from the garage there, and here we are into this room here. So no other damage at all. So it's got to be, you would think, under the slab, as we know that they didn't come across there. So they've either skirted the slab and come up here, come up there. How they know where to come up, we don't know. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes to these guys. But as I said, this sort of thing can be avoided. Regular inspections and listening to your inspector. If we see things like retaining walls with termites in them, we most likely would have said, okay, there's termites in the retaining wall, there was protection gone down at time of construction, and look, a lot of the time that is enough, that works, but sometimes it doesn't. But you just don't want this situation. This is a rental house, and it's been months and months and months since this has been able to be rented because we had to get rid of the termites, and then the repairs have got to be done. So there's loss of income obviously for the homeowner, plus there's loss of repairs because insurance doesn't cover termite damage. You can get insurance for termite damage through our insurers or some other insurers, but you need a termite system in place for that to be effective, for that insurance policy to be activated. So listen to your inspectors. If you have all these sort of conducive conditions like retaining walls and things like that around the house, and leaks especially, that sort of stuff, you really need to fix them up and just have regular inspections so that you know what's going on. And it would have picked up this. You may still have got damage inside, having regular inspections without a protection in place, but at least it would have been minimised, hopefully just to maybe the garage or wherever their entry point was. Alright, thank you for listening.